Dumoulin takes a look. Deflected, scores! Letang! Could you script it any better than this?
Pitch it to Najee Harris. Harris sidesteps, gets to the sideline. Najee Harris dives for the pylon. Touchdown, Steelers!
I don't think I expected anything less.
That's unbelievable. It is absolutely incredible.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BP TV studio. You know the address. I won't repeat it again. We're ready to do another show. Appreciate you all on Facebook. I see that we're like almost 7,400 followers there, so we appreciate that. Numbers have varied, algorithms and all that other stuff on Facebook. Facebook isn't fun at times, just like tonight with our start. So thank you for that, and we look forward to interacting. Wait, we got some. Ralph Williams, hello, guys. Chuck McElroy's watching. Teresa Mariano, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. And on YouTube, what were we, 347? We were holding steady at that. Yep. We appreciate it. I got the smartphone. I'll check that out later. We need one more. We'll try to get one each show. And we're on our way to 1,000 shows, maybe around July. So we'll see what happens then. And we appreciate your interactions and all that stuff. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smoking Jim Frazier, dressed for winter again. Doesn't feel hot or cold. We know the tradition, 13 plus years. Chip Hayner's back, and we'll give a little prelude to next week. Mike Rohde had a business dinner, and he has family coming in next week, so Chip will be back to back again. So we'll see Chip here. We got Nick's back with us after his little hiatus with basketball boys and girls. And what happened to them in the playoffs?
Boys didn't make the playoffs. Girls won in the first round, lost in the quarterfinals, and lost their first consolation game for state seeding. Their second game is tonight. I think they're playing Indiana, Pennsylvania.
I saw something on it.
Will the girls' team actually, if say, for example, they win, will they actually make the state playoffs?
They're guaranteed to go in the states no matter what. It's just a matter of
That's what I wanted to come out.
They're playing for the winning seed.
How many losses you get and still be able to continue? Wow.
I didn't see Gateway in any of the brackets.
Smoking Jim, don't interrupt this. We're still doing our intro, and I just wanted Nick, because you've been promoting and I've been, going along.
Of the football, basketball, and baseball teams. Yes.
Go Blackhawks. So thank you for the update. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. See you in 10 seconds. The promos will be on. You heard the 10 seconds. Hopefully it's up.
My name is Nicholas Callis, and this is the Bethel Park Minute. A public meeting has been scheduled for this Wednesday, February 26th at 5:30 p.m. at the Bethel Park Community Center to help shape the future of active transportation in Bethel Park. And you're invited. Learn more about Bethel Park's draft active transportation plan on our website and share your ideas with us at that meeting. Waste Management has requested that you avoid street parking on roads and cul-de-sacs on your scheduled trash collection day. They've reported difficulty collecting trash in some locations. The municipality urges cooperation to help Waste Management properly access your trash cans. My name is Nicholas Callis, and this has been the Bethel Park Minute.
Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. All right. Hey, hope you enjoyed the promos there. They're a little limited right now, but they're our favorite ones now, so please support them. We appreciate you. A couple more people are watching. Margaret Peggy Rohde said, hello to all, enjoying the show from Rochester, Nick and Peggy Rohde. Your son couldn't make it because he went to a business dinner, so you got to miss him. And Paul Haley watching on Facebook Live in South Carolina. Thanks, Paul. Marsha Rubenstein's watching. Thank you. Bob Hatala, he's watching. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you. Jane Leffler said, hello, all. Hello back to you. All right, what's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
I'll give
you
it.
got to see Levine.
I'll give it to you, but he's on the losingest team in the MLB last year. Set a record.
Who's that?
What hat do you have
White
on?
Sox.
Oh, okay.
That one over your head.
I didn't realize. Al Levine, the talking
Who
machine.
dresses you?
Al Levine, the talking machine, and VIP Nick. I tell you what, man, we got an electrical engineer that saved the show. He did the wiring and got Vinny got the lights up before the show. Thanks for the Vinny.
I got to do a disclaimer.
He come through the ceiling.
Here's the story. We got these very expensive studio movie type lights here.
You got Spider-Man
They have
on you.
1,000 colors, and Smoking Jim looked dark over there. So I said, we got a problem with the light. Nick was busy getting Facebook going because it's been a problem for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So Vinny came over, and him going to school for engineering, Smoking Jim didn't realize it, even though we've talked about it for months, because Vinny's one of the rookie of the years. he came over and he touched it because he had some intuition, and it went back on. And I said, "That's great for an engineer." Smoking Jim goes, "What?" I go, "He's going to school for engineering, so he's making all this stuff up."
Remember how you used to when we were kids on carpeting, shag carpeting, you rub your feet and you shock somebody? It's exactly what he did.
And he was grounded. Yeah, but Chip, the only exception, he was grounded so he didn't get hit with the 220.
But I got to give
220,
credit.
221.
I got to give
whatever
credit.
it takes.
I got to give credit to my Bethel Park band. I'm hooked. I gave my digits to my main man Mikey. I got 2
That's a weird way to say it.
turkey hoagies coming to the Texas Roadhouse parking lot on Saturday. El Avena Taco Machine. And before I get to you, I'll tell you what. These hoagies are so good. I've never had a cold hoagie.
How good are they? How good are they?
I've never had a cold hoagie.
They're
before.
so good, I've been buying since my daughter was in high school and graduated in 2006.
There's
never
so
had-
much meat on one hoagie, I could actually make 3 hoagies out of one.
You've never had a
It's
co-
good.
You've actually never had one
I
cold
always
before?
had hot
No.
hoagies. I've never
Really?
had a cold hoagie.
So you take the
He
meat
always
off the
buys
one
them, so.
and make 3, and how much do you sell them out of the back of your car?
Yeah. I tell you, hey, question over here.
No, I got to double up you because I got 4 of them. Marco charged
Meatball
me
hoagie?
2 meatball, 2 turkey because me and Drew love one of each.
Wow.
And we finish it at one sitting, just one.
So is that the best turkey hoagie that you've ever had since
Yeah.
since that meatball sandwich
yeah,
and chips?
yeah.
Yeah, there's some history, Chip.
But I tell you what, they've been asking me all day. I said, I'm going to check with my white boys. El Avena Taco Machine.
We can't talk like this.
Can somebody tell me how far Ovechkin is behind Gretzky? I
Yes.
got to know.
No, hold
13.
on.
He's 13 goals.
That's my segment.
Okay, we'll wait for El Avena Taco Machine.
I'll tell you, it's a little tease.
But I tell you what, finally, my last question. Is the Penguins the first team with 3 Hall of Famers on it to be in last place? El Avena Taco Machine.
No.
But I tell you what, they're going to get a good draft pick. And I tell you what, El Avena Taco Machine, if you don't believe in the curse, you believe it now.
Smoking Jim, you know how we got Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby?
That was before they backstabbed Fleury, Marc-Andre Fleury. Wasn't no curse there.
Well, you're Jamaican, and we'll pass on with this. So, Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Okay. It's great to be back, everybody. And just to speak to Jim's point, he had mentioned Marc-Andre Fleury. And Marc-Andre Fleury, after the last game he started, he has now started the second most games in goal
I
in
saw
NHL
that.
history.
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
Over the last 20 years. So tip your hat to Marc-Andre for
Do you remember what his number
longevity.
is? Just curious.
I'm not sure.
Oh. Yeah.
So, anyhow,
You
what's
don't
on my
know
mind?
much hockey. Get the puck out of here. Let's move on.
What's on my mind? This past weekend, I truly enjoyed my Saturday and Sunday afternoons. Got to watch Pirates baseball. It's
You're
spring
back, Chip.
training, and these games don't mean anything. But it was just great to watch baseball being played. I'm very much looking forward to this season. I know there's a lot of negativity out there, but there's a lot of negativity for all the Pittsburgh sports teams, so much so that I don't even listen to it anymore. It's redundant, it's repetitive, it's ridiculous, and I'm just going to sit back. And I love the game of baseball. I mean, I love baseball so much that I have, driven past a ball field in the heat of the summer and stopped and sat down in the bleachers and watched the Little League game.
Sure.
Just because I love to watch the game of baseball. So there's a lot of things to be excited about this year, and I'm going to say this now, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Not a single game is won in January and February and most of March. Now, the season starts at the end of March this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
And, when we get into the regular season, everybody's 0-0. And I think the Pirates are going to have a pitching staff that's going to keep them in contention this year.
Sir. Yes,
They do need some young players to improve upon the way they played last year, and I do think that they're capable of it. Are they going to do it? We're going to find out, aren't we? So,
Are you asking, are they going to improve or are they going to make the playoffs? Because an improvement could be 77 wins or more.
well, you know what? I believe this in my heart that the Pirates are going to contend. Okay?
Just content.
They're going to contend. And you know what? They could potentially, depending on how the players perform on the field, they could vie for the division title. Now, I was listening to Marty Brennaman, a little snippet from him. Marty Brennaman is a Hall of Fame Reds announcer.
Yeah.
Is he related to Tom Brenneman?
Maybe.
That guy was disgraced. I'm sorry. I remember that last name, though.
No,
Continue, though.
maybe.
but I honestly don't. You caught me, but you know he's talking about the Central Division, and you know the Cardinals are in the midst of a rebuild, and everybody in St. Louis is just besides themselves for what the team has done, and what they haven't done, and their prospects for this year. And you know you look at what the Brewers did last year, and you know with the pieces that they lost from last year's team. They don't see the Brewers being anywhere near as good as they were this year as they were last year. But there's a reason why they play the games. They said the Chicago Cubs have improved themselves, and he picked the Cincinnati Reds as being the odds-on favorite to win the Central Division, provided they stay healthy. Well, I think that could be said for just about every team. And
Isn't that every sport? Yeah.
And I don't think the Cincinnati Reds are that much of a better team than the Pittsburgh Pirates. So is it realistic to say the Pirates could contend for a Central Division title? Yeah, you can say it, you know, but what's gonna determine that is what happens between March 27th.
You got a fan there. Did you hear him clapping?
Well, yeah, and you know they lost today, so he's going to probably rip me about that. But
Are the White Sox winning the AL Central, Smoking Jim?
I predicted the Pirates was going to the playoffs weeks ago.
well, you know what? Nothing would make me happier because I'll get first dibs on playoff tickets.
I was going to ask what facts will he give us, then I figured let him eat the pizza.
But you know, but some of the things that I've been doing a lot of. I do a lot of reading from a lot of different sources. One of the things I've read some articles that were, or saw some interviews with Paul Skeens, and one of the things that Paul Skeens has worked on very hard. He's developed 2 new pitches.
Oh, 2 now.
Jared Jones has developed a new pitch, which he's not going to announce until it comes time to use it. But one of the things that Skeens said that he worked very hard on this past winter is getting his pitch count down, being able to go further into games. And I think that was the big...
Well, that was a learning process.
I think that was the big flaw he had last year, even though how could you say that his rookie season was flawed? But, you know, just don't take me literally there. But you know, if he could learn how to take the stuff that he's got and pitch into the 6th and 7th inning, now all of a sudden what that does is the games that he's got an 8-run lead after 4 innings, he's not going to lose because the bullpen caved. And last year the bullpen, going into the season, looked like it was going to be a strength of the team, and it turned out to not be. And that was the biggest flaw of that team last year. So getting the starting pitchers further into the game, if they can get them to pitch into the 6th inning, would be a huge accomplishment and make the bullpen more effective and not overwork it.
Well, Chip, I appreciate you saying just this alone, we could have one of the top pitching staffs. Now, saying that in Pittsburgh, when have we last heard that?
No, we haven't.
Thank you.
We haven't. Yes, Nicholas.
Why aren't you mentioning the lineup at all?
Springtime.
Because right now the lineup's kind of straight, like up in the air. Okay, you've got right now we're going to see who's going to earn the positions. I don't think that second base is locked in. I know they keep Ryan Hayes, 2 for 2 today. Gold Glove third baseman. I don't think that the shortstop position is guaranteed to anybody, even though what's his name, Kiner Falefa, seems to have the inside. I think the first base, you know. So I mean, I don't know what the lineup's going to be. We're going to see, you know. But I do think that I think they're solid with O'Neill Cruz in center.
When you have a really strong pitching staff and an uncertain lineup, you know what that's called? An unbalanced team.
No, you know what it's called? It's called 3 games into spring training, and you don't have all the answers.
Hey,
all right, ding, ding. We're going to move on
They
here.
won twice. So there's that, sure.
We're moving on, boys and girls. Our world traveler, Linda Kroll, Hi, guys. I'm allowed to comment since I'm not behind the camera tonight. Smiling emoji. Cheers from Saquon's new city.
Philadelphia.
Wow.
Have a cheesesteak on me, honey.
Have a Philly cheese. All right, Chiefs watching us. Thanks. Let's go to what's on your mind, Nick Callis.
Yeah, so thanks. Appreciate you.
Thanks for beating them up before the show.
I didn't be.
TikTok or Twitter.
Oh, that's right. No, I said that Smoking Jim would actually be a welcomed addition to X if Pittsburgh Sportsline got an account. I think a lot of the stuff that happens on that specific site will go against some of Al's morals.
Yes,
so
most of them.
We stay away from there on Pittsburgh Sportsline. We're
Thanks.
not making an account for that.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it.
Guys, this is a family show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we could put family stuff on there. So either we're gonna post some clips of him saying some nonsense, or we won't get followers because Twitter's just a dumpster fire of a bunch of opinions and nasty content. If you haven't got there, don't start. Just kind of like betting.
Yeah.
Either way.
Thanks for stealing my line. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no
that.
So, but yeah. So you hear a lot about the negativity in Pittsburgh sports, which I think is actually valid, and I think that it's healthy to complain because when you complain, you come up with either some solutions or you just vent and then you feel better after. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what there is to feel super grateful about at this point. The Steelers don't have a quarterback. Their wide receiver core is real shaky right now. It's still early in the offseason for them. But now they haven't won a playoff game in 8 seasons. So, what's to be happy about there? And if we get the same thing over and over again, right, I'm not going to be thrilled. It's like, if Pittsburgh Sportsline were just Smoking Jim's segment every time, you'd get tired of that, right? You like the flavor of all of us talking, right? You want some more winning or maybe some more losing in there. Steelers are just trying to be good enough. Or they're trying to win all the time, and when you try to win all the time, eventually you just become good enough and slowly fade. We saw that with the Penguins. I don't know how to get excited about a team that has the big 3 superstars on it, and and is still in last place in the Metropolitan Division and second to last in the conference. I don't know what to get excited about. Now we get excited about the Four Nations Face-Off. That was a great tournament. That
was amazing.
It's a great little break then there that could replace an All-Star break. That was fun. And I hope the NHL doesn't ruin it because, they've done that from time to time in the past. So, but what else to get excited for in terms of the Pittsburgh Penguins? There's not much. They're just falling into irrelevance.
We have all those draft picks, though.
Yeah, that's exciting, but the draft's not happening for a little while. So what are we excited about right now?
This is not a strong draft.
Yeah, but we're used to this in Pittsburgh.
So Chip supported my point.
Yeah.
That's right. Nothing to get excited about with the Penguins, right? So
understand.
Pittman's basketball has kind of fallen off. Their conference record's under 500, and they're probably not going to do much. They're in the middle of the standings. There's so many ACC teams, by the way.
Yeah,
when I look it up, and I was just like, this is ridiculous for basketball.
Yeah.
There's just so many teams in one conference. It's nonsense. But they're probably not going to do much. And Pitt football, we already saw what happened with them. Is there much to be excited about there? Who's coming back? Those are really the questions you're asking. And then the Pirates, no games have been played that mean anything, and the season starts on March 27th. That's awesome. But, I've talked about this before, it's about the hype for the season, which there's a lot of hype for the pitching staff, but there were reasonable investments that could have been made on offense this offseason that they just didn't make. And so, you could complain about that. It's okay, and no games are won or lost, but you see teams that spend a reasonable amount of money in the offseason usually eventually contend. And the Pirates, it's just frustrating because they have a great pitching staff, but their roster seems unbalanced because of all the position players that have question marks. There have been so many questions for so many years about the offense, and the offense has been lacking. And I'm especially fearful because in my baseball experience watching the New York Mets in 2017 and 2018, I talk about them all the time. Jacob deGrom, Cy Young Award winner, paired with Noah Syndergaard and a few other reliable guys. They had a great staff. Jacob deGrom won a Cy Young with an ERA under 2, and they didn't make the playoffs with that team. And that feels like that's what the Pirates are doing because the Mets offense was so bad that they couldn't even win games with such a hot pitching staff that the Mets had back in those days. So, again, you get Andrew Heaney and you sign him, and that's wonderful, and he's got experience, and he could be a threat, and you get him for a bargain deal. But, again, you've just bolstered more of the pitching. you didn't do much with the offense. Spencer Horowitz is going to be a guest right now because chronic issues with his wrist, I believe it was. No good. Keep Ryan Hayes. I'm glad that he feels better than ever, but as Chip said, the season doesn't start until March 27th, so who knows what's going to happen with him and those chronic back injuries. And there are questions all over the infield, and Tommy Pham is expected to play left field, and Brian Reynolds is supposed to play right, even though none of the arms in the outfield other than maybe O'Neal Cruz are strong. But O'Neal Cruz hadn't fielded in the outfield, really. I mean, he's had a lot of time to train, but again, we'll see what happens when those games come along. So, I mean, if you're pessimistic about Pittsburgh sports right now, like, complain. Why not? It's okay. Everything's fine. But, you know, we can only wait and see what's going to happen with the Penguins and the Steelers and whatnot. But, like, the Pirates have an opportunity to win with the staff that they have. I just wish they would have spent more on offense, giving themselves a greater chance, just because I don't want to see them fail like teams of the past have failed with good pitching and bad offense.
Okay, so here's what the one comment I want to make in response.
Are you sure it's just one?
Well, it's probably not. But, you know,
Ding, ding.
You know me.
Let's go.
We have already dubbed the Pirates' starting pitching rotation as being one of the best, and they haven't proven anything yet. The Pirates have the potential to have one of the best starting rotations in baseball, but until they prove it, they're not. Okay,
You're saying there's a chance they could just be
so,
outright bad.
Well, you know what? You never know. Paul Skeens could go out there on opening day and blow out his arm and have Tommy John surgery and not pitch until late 2026. There's a lot of things that could happen, but we can't just assume that, well, we've got this great pitching staff. We've got Paul Skeens, who had an amazing rookie year. We've got Mitch Keller, who's been solid. Jared Jones had an up-and-down year last year. I would expect to see improvement on that yet, but until he does it, he hasn't. Okay, and Paul Skeens, until he wins 20 games, he hasn't. Does he have the potential to do it? Yes. If he stays healthy, I think it's more than likely that he will. But we can't just assume that they're going to do that just because we're hyping them up to be that, because they're not that yet.
What's your stance then? Because you just talked about not.
I'm just saying that what we're doing is we're trying
you're master
to pump
opinion
something. Here. My opinion is
Let's
pumping.
Just watch.
We're setting ourselves up for failure because we are trying to set expectations up here when we don't know if they're going to reach that ceiling or not.
But why are there expectations?
Hold it. Let me
team?
interrupt a second. Right. After listening to my two co-hosts, I'm going to watch the games and I'm going to figure out what I think they're going to do because I have no clue. I'm optimistic every year, and I've been disappointed since 1979. So I'm going to watch the games the last 2 years, as I've said on the record. I've watched more games than I did in the previous 3 years.
Just a consensus.
I got money on them making the playoffs.
Whoa, grab that, Chip.
I was going to snatch
that. Might have been $4.
I don't think I've seen Jim move that fast in my life.
You know what? I heard there was a robbery up at South Hills Village.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of ones missing.
All right, let's move on from that.
Well, wait, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead, yeah, finish your point.
So I think we all agree a year is a long time, right? When
yes.
a year passes, it's a lot of time passed, right?
Yes.
So when you've got like 5 years now
yeah.
of Pirates baseball the way it's been, and you got a lottery draft good fortune by getting Paul Skeens as the first overall pick.
Yes.
And you've had 2 first overall picks in the last 4 seasons, and you picked in the top 10 forever, it seems like. Eventually, those rewards, you feel like you should be reaping some rewards from all of that. And the Pirates don't seem to develop well, and the Pirates don't seem to want to spend money on guys who have established that they've been developed and seasoned as veterans. So when the criticism comes in, it's more like, I don't want to wait another year. Like, I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to wait another year. We're all getting older. There's no secret there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a World Series yet.
I don't want to.
I say it all the time. I have not seen the World Series. I was born in '98.
Nicholas, I don't want to work until I'm 70, but I have to.
Right. Well, what does that have to? I don't know.
You don't want to wait another year. Well, guess what? You may have to.
Right, but see, that's what's it. Then we complain, we express our opinions, and then we call for the firings of the people in charge.
Let me settle
that's how
this.
Because you have to fight somebody, right?
After 5 seasons, Chip,
I got to get biblical on these guys. I'm going to be Solomon. You're both right.
Oh, that's fair. That's great.
And we'll find out.
Kumbaya!
You're both right. We're going to move on. Al, what's on your mind? Hold it. We got people watching. I've never had these two groups watch us. Parkinson's Ferry Society and Children of the American Revolution are watching. Wow. So we salute whoever's in charge of your organizations tuning in. And what's on my mind? Smoking Jim, wouldn't you guys say, says some outrageous stuff?
Absolutely.
Well, he doesn't know hockey, and he only learned about it because of our show. Mm-hmm. And somehow he goes against Pittsburgh all the time when he picks somebody that has one shot. And guess what? The guy that has one shot had a hat trick the other day.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. And his team, where's our team located? Last in the Metropolitan?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Guess who's first with 84 points? The Capitals were rebuilding. Ovechkin has been out with a broken tibia, and he's probably only going to play, I think, about 28 games or 30 games? And he only needs 13 goals, which I'll jump on the bandwagon. He'll beat Gretzky this year.
Wow.
Because he's on a good team, and they're in first place. Wow. Unlike the opposite that Smoking Jim, Dr. Negative on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Are you acting so surprised because you just learned that when he said it?
Yes. Yeah, he is. We have 3 Hall of Famers, and we're in last place with no hope. Wow. So the other thing is, with NBA, you always hear about LeBron and the Lakers, and last year they weren't that good. Then, I follow the Mavericks because Mark Cuban was a friend of mine and sold it, has a percentage. Then the Lakers make a trade. Luka from the Mavs comes out and has one of his best games the other day. So I look to see what the standings are. The Lakers are in 4th place. Wow. Last year they were always fighting for 7th or 8th or something like that. So maybe LeBron with little Bronny can get to the playoffs. So I'm looking at other sports because Chip had talked about before. He goes, Al, there's always something in sports to talk about. I go, that's why we do Pittsburgh Sportsline. So even if you're a young puppy that hasn't waited 45 years for another World Series, only your whole life, but you're only 26, I almost doubled that with what I've been waiting for. My first love is baseball. I still love the game, and I'm always optimistic, although cautiously. Unlike Chip, he's a little more optimistic than me, and I respect that. But we all have, as you can see, our differing things that we talk about and what we care about and our feelings, except for Smoking Jim. He only knows about football and whatever else he's a coach with, modeling, whatever, bookmaking, being a bouncer, whatever he may be doing. So we know about many other sports, and we care about our Pittsburgh teams, and that's the passion I want you to see on our show each week. So thanks, guys.
Well, you know what? Interestingly enough, you're talking about Alex Ovechkin, and Alex Ovechkin is getting ready to break one of Wayne Gretzky's records.
Yeah.
But if you take and subtract from Wayne Gretzky's career point total the number of goals that he scored, he will still have scored more points than Alex Ovechkin when Alex Ovechkin passes him.
Hater.
Chip, thank you for that much. We're going to go to Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds. Let's get it.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And I tell you what, man, this is an important time in the sports calendar, especially for the NFL because of the NFL combines. Anybody with a sport organization, NFL organization, is at the combine right now. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I believe could be the Philadelphia Eagles, Philly went 1-6 down the stretch in 2023. Steelers went 0-5. Easily could turn that around, Al Levine, the talking machine. But they got to do the right thing. The Steelers, I'm hearing, may reach for a wide receiver and a cornerback because they passed on Jordan Addison and Cooper DeJean. And I think it's right now, Chuck Noll used to say, take the best available athlete. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers need to get back to that philosophy. They basically have, VIP, 2 extra top 3 picks.
No.
In the first round, you get Troy Fontenot back. He didn't play all year.
You want to try that again?
He would probably be
try
the
that again?
Samoan.
No.
The
Try that again?
Samoan. The Samoan.
No,
whatever
no,
his name
do it
is.
again. Say it again.
The
Say it again.
Samoan.
Say his name again.
Fontenot?
No.
Why you say it?
Fatanu.
Fatano.
He missed a
changed
little.
his name. They get Troy Fatano back. Al Levine, the Tiger Machine. He would probably be chipped. He would probably be rated the number 1 offensive lineman in
As
this
a guard.
particular draft.
As a guard.
As a guard or tackle, he would be number 1.
You kept saying guard.
Well, in my opinion,
Well,
I
we
would
trust
put
your
him at
opinion.
guard.
This is Sportsline.
Al Levine, the Tiger Machine. In the 3rd round last year, they drafted Roman Wilson, national champ wide receiver. They still need help on the offensive line and wide receiver, but you're getting 2 players who didn't play at all for you in 2024 that's available high picks this year.
Will they be fresh then?
Well, they'll be a step ahead of any rookie because they'll know all the plays, they know the facilities, they know where to.
Well, then
they got their own house or apartment, and they're not hanging with Justin Tucker. And Al Levine, the Tiger Machine, Al Levine, the Tiger Machine, and I would
This is John Watson, huh?
yeah, and I would resign. I would resign 6'2", 245-pound Najee Harris because if you don't re-sign him as your running back, and he's only 1,000 yards away from being the 3rd leading rusher in Steeler history behind only Franco Harris and Jerome Bettis. If you don't re-sign him, then you got to go out and draft a running back in one of your high picks. So I would re-sign Najee. And that's the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Hold it. We got a special question from Tony from Chick-fil-A.
That's my man.
What Pitt basketball needs for a winning program since Jamie Dixon era? Smoking Jim?
Wow. They blew up with getting rid of Jamie. They wasn't happy.
What did I say?
That's
Yeah.
what the young people talk about all the time. They're not happy. They wasn't happy with Jamie, but they was winning a lot of games. Look what you got.
They made
now.
it to the tournament.
You
each
run
time.
Jamie out, and look
Yeah,
what
but
you got
you know
now.
what? The Jamie never really seemed to figure out how to coach in the ACC. He was great in the Big East, and those Big East teams were monsters. But he did not. His coaching style didn't translate well to the ACC.
He sure made March Madness every year.
Well, until they transferred into the ACC.
And he took a 6'6", 6'7" guy, Blair.
We
and
got a
made him an
debate.
All-American.
We got a debate on that
center.
side of the table, Nick.
You see that?
Ding ding.
We know a little hoop here. We know a little
Well,
hoop.
no, I mean,
Well,
you know,
hold it. Smoking Jim, he does some outside stuff since we got him up here and we got a little bit of time. I saw you at a championship game doing an interview with
I was doing some of your moves. I was doing some of your quotes.
I know. He was like I told Chuck Cooper III, his dad was the first NBA player, and we're
So they
friends with
say,
him.
so they say.
Well, Smoking Jim's, you can't get him to be straight on any answer or question with friends.
I got Earl Lloyd being the first black, but anyhow, Cooper
Well,
could be.
not officially, but
Cooper could be.
not officially on your side.
Jim's the kind of person you don't
Yeah.
ask yes or no questions.
I know. So I'll just go, who won the game, City League girls game?
Well, there's only 5 or 6 city league teams, so all the dice.
Always
won the girls.
negative.
All the dice won the girls, and all the dice won the boys. And did you see what I asked all the dice's coach?
No.
She said she's retiring in 2 years. I said, you going to Gateway? Hey, we recruit. We recruit, brother.
Hold it. Who did they beat?
Obama.
That's
Boy,
our
they-
girl, Monique McCoy.
Yeah, she was looking good, brother. I almost took off the mic. Woo!
And who was the young lady that you interviewed?
The coach of all the days.
Smoking Jim can't be serious. She was the MVP player.
Yeah, Q. Yeah, Q. Chuck Cooper's niece. I thought you was talking about the coach because I interviewed the coach.
I didn't see that interview.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Luther didn't have it up, posted up.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, a little cute. That's Chuck Cooper's niece.
She was very good on the interview.
Yeah, she shoot like a Cooper.
And I appreciate
or Flannery.
I appreciate when you asked her to say her name.
Yeah.
She relaxed.
It wasn't a shot she didn't like to take.
I know. That's all
Very
good there.
good. Very talented, very cute little girl, yeah. I asked her if she was transferred.
And where
to
can we
Gateway,
watch
too.
the film of the game?
I'm on, Uncle Luke. More. I don't know.
We
One of
can't
them-
watch it.
One of them shows.
I was just trying to promote my best friend here, and
I don't know.
you see how he's all over the place.
send it to you.
I'm glad we got that straightened out. Thank you.
Maybe on the X.
All right. We got to go to Chip's trivia time in 10 seconds. Sorry, folks.
All right, everybody. So, got some baseball stats that I find interesting and amusing.
Hence trivia time.
So, one of the top pitchers in Major League Baseball, his name's Sandy Alcantara. Okay, and I found this to be interesting.
Wait, how do you say that? I got to be fair.
Alcantara.
Alcantara.
Okay, I stand corrected. All right.
Come on, you guys.
So anyhow,
Ding, 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 ding.
So anyhow,
All over. I'll try next.
this was between the years of 2022 and 2024, through the end of last season.
Okay.
That Mr. Alcantara.
There you go.
Had pitched nine.
We have a learning curve.
Had pitched 9 complete games.
Wow, that's
Okay.
a record.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies pitched 9 complete games as a team.
Oh my.
The Houston Astros pitched 7 complete games. The San Francisco Giants pitched 7 complete games.
Wow.
The Boston Red Sox pitched 6 complete games. The interesting thing about this statistic, Alcantara did not pitch in 2024.
Wow.
What you mean?
He was he sat out the season because of arm surgery, elbow surgery. So that's what he accomplished in 2022 and 2023. The rest of these teams did that with a full season that he didn't play. Next statistic that I find interesting.
Interesting.
Ty Cobb once hit 400 over a span
That's
of
my
800
man.
I've
games.
read that.
That's
yeah.
my man.
No one has hit over 400 over a span of 200 games in the last 90 years.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And of course, nobody cares how hard you throw a ball for. But the last but not least, and then this speaks to something that I'm very adamant about, and I think that the way all these statistics that we use to measure a player's worth in baseball
Analytics. And all.
have been, I don't know, they've kind of perverted things in a little bit. And I think one of the most important statistics that's gotten lost is what a hitter's batting average is. It seems like a batting average means nothing. And I think that there may have been less than 5 players that batted over 300 for the season. And I'm not sure if it was the American or National League. But that's just, well, that speaks to itself. So here are some things that I found interesting. Most 200 hit seasons in Major League Baseball history. So there are 3 players that have had 7 200 hit seasons in their career. Wade Boggs being one, Charlie Gehringer from the Detroit Tigers, and Rogers Hornsby, who played for
He
a
was
laundry
great.
list.
Yeah, I remember reading about him.
Okay, there are 4 players that had 8 seasons of 200 plus hits.
Wow.
Derek Jeter being one. And people somehow seem to think that Derek Jeter's not worthy of being in the Hall of Fame.
I'm one.
Which I find it laughable.
Right.
Lou Gehrig would be the next.
Wow. What company?
And Big Poison, Paul Wainer.
No way. We had some legendary Pirates they don't know about.
And Willie Keeler. He played in the dead
Hit 'em
ball.
where they ain't.
Next up with most 200 hit seasons. 9 200 hit seasons, Ty Cobb. And last but not least,
I'll bet I know.
one of Smokin' Jim's favorites, Pete Rose with 10 200 hit seasons,
Say it loud.
and Ichiro Suzuki with 10 seasons of over 200 hits.
Wow.
And he set the major league record for most hits in a season. I think he had 270 in 1 year.
Yeah.
Something close to that.
Well, who's the guy that's playing now? That's was MVP of the league, hit 54 home runs last year.
Aaron Judge?
No, the
Ohtani?
Ohtani. They say they got one at Stanford that's got a better swing than him. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, Ohtani even said that he got a better swing. He's a little chubby, but he plays for Stanford. Keep an eye on him.
We'll
They're
keep an eye
smoking
out.
Jim reaching out of his football.
Is that Japanese? Are they Japanese?
Irish.
But that's my
It's an Irish guy.
that's my trivia for tonight's show.
Thanks, Chip. I
Tremendous.
appreciate it. I was wondering where's Tony Gwynn at on the list.
Apparently, with 200 hit seasons,
I thought he
he's
might
not
have
on the
been there.
list.
Yeah.
I would have to dig further into this, but these are just
That's
posts.
for future. That's a future question because I didn't hear his
I
name.
can look that up for.
Yeah.
We can talk about that next week
All right.
because according
passed
to the
away.
people,
Kobe Bryant.
the man that people refer to as the greatest hitter to ever play baseball was Ted Williams.
Yeah.
And Ted Williams said that the best hitter that he ever saw play was Tony Gwynn.
Right. That's why I brought it up.
Ty
I remember
Cobb.
that.
Ty-
And then
Ty
Ty
Cobb
Cobb
was
said the
better.
best hitter he ever saw was Shoeless Joe Jackson. He said he
Yeah,
molded
that's
his
true.
swing after
And
him.
Babe
Yeah,
Ruth
that's
said the
true.
same thing. And to talk about batting averages, you realize Babe Ruth hitting all those home runs, right? Changed the whole era.
Yeah.
He was a 300-plus hitter.
Wow. And
People
pitcher.
forget about that.
And pitcher.
And then I posted up a video with him as a young Babe. He was an athletic guy, a great athlete, and he was thin.
I like to
All
see
you
that.
see is when he's like smoking Jim and Stevie Wonder.
Well, that's
So, I
because
mean-
on his training table was hot dogs and beer.
And lots of it. And lots of it. All right, we got to go to Nick. VIP time, 10 seconds.
Modern baseball it's fine. It's a thing. You can't go back in time. So, is that an opinion? No, that's a fact. You can't go back in time. So we just, we got to enjoy what we
Oh,
can.
you ever read H.G. Wells' Time Machine?
You mean it's a book about? It's a fictional book, like the fictional part of smoking. See, we're talking about facts here. I do not have an almanac. I just have things that come from my brain, and I use facts to form opinions. So automatic ball strike systems have been implemented into spring training as like an experimental thing, right? We clap that up. We clap about that. We like that. Some of us like that. Yeah, that's not exactly what I want to talk about, though, because you understand my opinion. I once was against it. And over time, I was like, you know what? It's whatever. It's fine. Well, I'm for it. It makes sense as long as it's implemented correctly and with little error. But, who knows what's going to happen now. But so far, I'm seeing a lot of people react. And so when people react to baseball, that's all that matters is there's reactions. And that's good for the game that these things are being implemented and things are happening to progress the game and make it more digestible for those of us that have shrinking attention spans. You know, right? Yeah, smoking. He gets.
You know what? He wasn't paying attention.
That's right. Glassy eyes. But
It's that cranberry ginger ale.
right. So, but the opinion is not necessarily about the automatic ball strike system because I'm for it, and we know that. But there was one post that was getting viewed in a popular rate, saying like, "Oh, well now the umpires are going to get they're going to have to watch their calls get scrutinized in front of everybody in the stadium." Ooh, and I don't, I was an official once upon a time, and I took a lot of pride in that. I think a lot of officials that exist out there do take a lot of pride in their game, and or pride in the game and when they officiate games, and so I'm not for that whole umpires are the enemy. Unfortunately, there's a select few that have done some poor things. Angel Hernandez was not great. We all understand that. But I mean, there are other guys where they get remembered for things that happen in their careers, like when outbursts happen, or maybe there are umpires that have a reputation for being controversial. Because gosh, Jim Joyce. That's his name. Jim Joyce is going to forever be remembered for the imperfect game by Armando Galarraga all the way back in 2010. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
15 years.
Time's flying. So
Cowboy West.
all of the that guy
Yeah.
not Jerry West. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Joe West. That's it. I remember Joe West. Yeah, Cowboy Joe West. He had a reputation.
Chip was helping you.
Right. So we had so we had a lot of these personalities come through, and like you remember those guys because they did something controversial. But I mean, how many umpires can you actually name that are active right now in Major League Baseball? Have you named 10? Chip, can you name 10?
I can name one that I'm never going to forget.
No, 10.
Jerry Mills. Jerry Mills
retired. He's not active.
No, but you know what?
Well, Jerry Mills made a bad question.
Is, no, I don't know that.
That's okay. I'm not. But I'm saying you're a baseball guy. I'm a baseball guy.
Shouldn't.
I can't name.
I can't name them.
I can't name those guys. Nobody can name a lot of umpires.
Isn't there a Wen
in the league?
stat?
How many referees can
Wendell
you
stat.
name in the NFL?
But the point exactly here. I'm making a point here, which is that you
We're
don't
waiting for it.
You don't remember a lot of the names of people. You only remember the ones that are controversial, and even the controversial ones are not all active umpires right now. They've existed in history, and so when you're looking at new technology being implemented into baseball, like take it easy on the umpires. Like we don't need to shame them for getting calls wrong. Like calling balls and strikes is difficult, and I know because they did it, and I didn't even do it at the major league level, and it's difficult to do. So just keep that in mind. There's no need to shame these people for the jobs that they do. There's no need for any of that. So like when I see these posts, I'm just like, why are we doing that? You know what I mean? Like why are we wasting our time like criticizing these guys? Like of course they're going to get things wrong. That's why we have a system in place to create the most neutral and fair officiating that we can possibly have, so that these competitors that are out there on these teams, again, can have that best paved playing field to maneuver through the game and to play. So, no need to do that. That's really the opinion. Is just like let's stop shaming them. Like they're a lot of them are really really good at what they do, and there are stats to prove out there too that umpires have gotten better over time as well at getting more of the strike zone accurate than they had in the past. And it's unfortunate that Pat Hoberg, I do remember him because he was in the news recently. He was one of the most accurate strike zone umpires out there until he was fired for sharing a gambling account with one of his friends. Not good. So that's another guy that you can't name anymore because he's fired, no longer active. So respect officials. Taunt the ones that deserve to be taunted. Well, let's not make a generalization, and let's not shame umpires for getting things wrong and people seeing that and everybody reacting. Like, there's no point in it. Like, these guys are humans too. They're. I'm sure most of them are nice. I'm sure you know most of them go out there and actually don't get remembered. They do their jobs real flatly, and that's the whole point. You need to be flat as an official, and just you got to be there to break ties and make decisions, not necessarily to be the star of the show, so to speak. And a lot of umpires do that, and that's why you can't name very many. So respect officials. Give it to the ones that deserve it, but respect officials overall. Especially as this ABS system is starting to be implemented in Major League Baseball.
May I tease?
You want to tease me?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to
Don't tease me with a good time now, Chip.
I'd like to do this in a civil manner, but next week, since I'll be here,
Yeah.
obviously he's got a pro attitude towards the automated balls and strikes. I have the other side of the coin.
Ding
And
ding for next week.
I want to. Let's debate what he feels are the advantages of it, and I'll express my point of view, and then let people decide how they feel about it.
I could save time. I know your argument already. We've been over this 100
No,
times.
wait for
No.
next week. That's
No,
a tease.
next week.
Next week.
Alan's got his time,
Yeah.
and we want to
We'll
make sure
get
he
done
gets
the
his.
last couple minutes
Yeah.
here. So.
And I think
Yeah.
in my segment next week, we'll go.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
All right, on location, 10 seconds. What do we got? About 3 minutes. All right. First off, Chief McElroy said, R.I.P. Mike Lang. Yeah. I showed a picture this week honoring him. Mario Tempest and I, we met him at the Grill 31 in Bridgeville that Kenny Reggett owns.
Correct.
And we were there watching Miss Freddie sing the blues, so I met Kenny Reggett. And he goes, "You want to meet Mike Lang?" So we went over and asked if he'd take a pic, and he was drinking with some friends. He goes, "I'll be right over." We're on the outside deck. He came over, and I forget who got the pic. Maybe Miss Freddie did with my phone.
Wow.
And that's how we got a pic with me, Mario, and Mike. He was the nicest guy and a gentleman. And I met him going back during the Liberty Tubes when they had a bar, a blues bar right near the Liberty Tubes. Jeans.
One of my old hangouts.
How about a buddy of mine goes, "Let's go in there." I know I'm talking my time down here, but Nick's on the timer.
Chismo Charles used to play that all the time.
Yeah, I heard him, so I'd go down there because I loved the blues and jazz back then. So who's sitting at the edge of the bar with a drink and a couple buddies? Mike Lang back then. I didn't want to bother him because he was talking to the owner and had a couple friends by him, but he was in there.
Wow.
So just seeing him out and about, and he was just a great guy. And on location, March 14th, the Grand Hall at the Priory Hotel, 6 o'clock I think the fights are, or 7 o'clock the fights are. We're going to be doing them. The Irish against the Pittsburgh Fighters, the Donnybrook, 3rd year in a row. We're coming back doing it. Nick said he can be there. Michael's going to be there.
Right.
We might even draft Vinny for a camera there. Smoking Jim, if he's not in an accident or in a hospital, or we don't know where he is, whatever. He'll be there, and they're all looking forward to it because they'll make the nameplates for us. So it's a fun time, great venue, great boxing. You can watch it live. It'll be out on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook and our YouTube channel. Check it out. And we'll be international, so it's a lot of fun. And let's see, what else did I have here? Paul Haley said, Sunday, the Red Wings Wildwood game went to OT, and we missed the Mike Lang tribute at the start of the Penguin game or massacre, 8-3. Chuck McElroy, Babe Ruth hit 342 lifetime. I was saying he was over 300.
No way.
He struck out more than
No, he
Smoking
didn't.
Jim did in 1 year.
He didn't hit no 342.
Yes, he did. That's his lifetime batting.
I don't believe it.
Statistics don't lie.
Smoking Jim, have you ever read anything about baseball stats? Chief and his dad, Jimmy Mack, had books on stats. Nick, you would have loved them reading the baseball books. That's for sure. How much time? We winding down?
You got 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Well, I got to do my classic. Thanks to everybody here and all the volunteers. Vinny came in and saved the day on camera, or we would have had a battle who was on camera. Please stay Joey strong.